Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled and get your free 30-day trial and a free audiobook. They've got all of the audiobooks. Literally any audiobook that you can find that your friend didn't make in their garage, they've got it. So find something over there. You're going to find something. That's a Jumbled guarantee. And I just pointed at the camera like you guys could see me. So I apparently don't know how podcasts work. So this should be good. Let's get into it. Well, I guess we should do like the actual intro.
I thought we were already in the podcast and you already recorded an intro. Shit talking me.
It's true. It's true, I did. I'm getting to that. Sure. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Jumbled, your favorite podcast about nothing. I'm Zach. It's a very stoic Jonny. Just an hour of you not saying anything. He's there, I promise, guys.
I want an episode of you talking to me and only carrying the conversation based on my facial expressions.
Oh, wow. That would actually be an interesting challenge.
I don't know if we should do it tonight, but
yeah,
that's maybe a separate experiment to toy with.
Yeah, because I got to have some actual talking points and stuff written down, which I have not done for a while.
Well, I'm glad that you recognize that I carry this podcast on
You
my
do.
back.
You absolutely. Yeah.
That's not true at
No,
all.
you 100% do. You 100% do.
Zach, real question for you.
Real answer.
How are you feeling about the current NFL season?
Well, my Packers are 2-0. So they're doing great. Aaron Rodgers is looking like he's still in peak condition. 2 division rival games to start the year off, and we beat them both. Beat Joe's Vikes the first week.
Yeah, fucking Joe's here from Minnesota, garbage team.
and then beat my brother's Lions.
Also,
the week after that,
a garbage team. What is going on with your family in the division in cheering for a proper football team like the Patriots?
A proper football. You know what? I actually don't know how Cam Newton's been doing up there. I saw he rushed for a touchdown, but that's all I saw.
Well, I can tell you that he is doing really well, at least from a fantasy perspective, because the person I was competing against this week shit all over me.
Oh, and he had Cam. You know, Cam Newton's always been one of those players. It's like feast or famine with that guy, you know, and he's got all the talent in the world, but some days he's just not on, and it's not, and there's no good reason for it.
When he's
hot,
he's hot, and when he's not, he is not. But
yeah,
I mean, overall, you got to say he's had a fairly successful career. Like, he's not the worst quarterback to have seen come through in his time.
He's no Jameis Winston.
What was Robert Griffith?
RG3.
RG3. What happened to RG3?
RG3 had a lot of promise. He got injured is what happened, and it was just bad timing to get injured. So it was him and Andrew Luck in that it was him and Andrew Luck that year, and everybody was wondering who was going to go first. Was it the kid from Stanford, or was it the kid from where did he play, Baylor? I think he played at Baylor. You know, and everybody sort of thought RG3 was going to go first, you know, and it's weird that that was only like 8 years ago or something like that, and 9 years ago, who knows? He
doesn't have a contract right now, does he?
RG3, I think he's done because he didn't get to start anywhere else. He was hot for a couple seasons, actually got injured in his second year, I think. And then he got cut eventually by the Redskins, I think the next year, or after the season after that, or something like that. He was riding the bench. He was riding the pine for a little bit. And then he went to the Eagles a couple seasons ago. Was he on the Super Bowl team?
So I'm just reading right now. Talk about injury prone, man. It's bummer. So he tore his ACL in his sophomore season at Baylor. You were correct.
Yeah.
And then he suffered a string of injuries in the NFL. He tore his LCL, ACL, and meniscus during a wild card game in 2012.
His knees are going to be fucked.
Dislocated his ankle early in 2014 and fractured a bone in his left shoulder while playing for the Browns in Week 1 of 2016.
Ah, the Browns, I remember. He did have a short span of time where he was starting for them, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor guy. I mean, he was really exciting to watch. You know,
he's apparently still worth $13 million.
Oh, I mean, no doubt the dude's got enough money to live comfortably the rest of his days. Like, he's...
Yeah, 13 mil would do it in the States, depending on where you live. Not New York or LA, but...
No, I mean, get a piece of property out in the middle... Well, the middle of the country, dude. Go I mean, here, even in Kansas City... No one wants
to deal with winter, Zach.
Of course, but you get what you pay for, right?
Yeah, but you can move somewhere like New Mexico, never deal with winter, buy a house for like $100,000.
Move to Idaho, right? You can, for $100,000, not only do you get a house, you get like 10 acres of land, right?
I feel like you could do that in like Arizona and have a better quality of life.
Yeah, but Arizona is more expensive.
Slightly more, but you still have $13 million.
Sure. I mean, I guess if you're safe with it, right?
You don't have to deal with snow. Think of all the money he's going to save not having to pay for like snow removal.
That's the thing, man. If I got $13 million, I would just be up in a mountain.
How fat would you get, Zach?
It'd be like this. Here's what would happen, right? $13 million. Has anybody seen Zach recently? Last I heard, he won $13 million. Oh, he bought property up in the mountains. And it's winter now, and you won't see it. He's like a bear. The man's like a bear at this point. He disappears. He disappears in the fall, right?
How big is this house in the mountains you're building?
It's a lodge. It's a ski lodge, dude. It's basically...
Give me a square footage. Like, couple thousand? 3,000?
I'm thinking like 20,000 square feet. I can't even say it.
I can't even build a hotel.
No. I can't even say it with a straight face. I was going big.
Going straight. No, what's that?
No, probably a modest 40,000 square feet. No, but seriously,
The Shining. You're going straight Shining. Yeah. Jack Nicklaus in The Shining, right?
Yeah. Jack Nicklaus, the golf player, everybody knows.
Wait, did I fuck that up?
Yeah, you did. I think Jack Nicklaus is a golf player.
Wait, who am I talking about?
I think his name is Jack Nicholson, right?
Nicholson, that's right.
Yeah.
I don't know. One of those two. The golf player or the actor who played a serial killer who you're starting
Here's
to look
Johnny.
like. So,
yeah. No, I would seriously probably go. I don't need a lot of space. 3,000 would probably be.
I think 3,000 is a lot. Like more than how much land would you want?
Honestly, I think that'd be the best part of it. Would be having a good amount of land. I don't know. I'd probably a dozen acres maybe.
12 acres. Hey, what would you do on the land?
I'd get some ATVs. I'd go, Rough Riders, DMX and Eve and all them. I would just I'd be rolling around my backyard on my ATVs, and I would have my Australian Shepherd just worn out.
Just hanging out with you all the time.
Yep, he'd be chasing me all over the property, and then at the end of the day, he wouldn't have the energy to whine at me that he needed to go outside.
Well, Zach, I have good news for you. For the small price of about 300,000 Canadian, you can buy about 200 acres of Canadian wilderness.
Wow. Canadian wilderness, huh?
Canadian wilderness, baby. I know this because I'm looking and I want to run away into the woods.
One day it might just come down to it where the intro to this podcast is just very lonely, and it's just me. No, is the stress of life just too much, Johnny? You want to get away from the hustle and bustle, or what?
It's a combination of things. Like, yeah, life is busy, but I mean, we've been talking about getting a trailer for camping, getting a rooftop tent, or timeshare, or, you know, especially now that we're not doing nearly as much international travel as we have been previously. And we've been doing a lot more camping, which is, I'm happy to be doing more camping again. You know, Allie's getting more comfortable, and we're just kind of noodling things around. And then, you know, everyone's working remotely. So then we started talking about, well, do we want to move somewhere, you know, not inside the city, have a little bit more space, a little bit more land, bigger garage. And then it was like a small acreage just outside of the city to, you know, maybe 50 acres. Then it was like 100 acres. And then I saw one for 200. I was like, wow, think of all the shit we could do.
Yeah.
And then we had, you know, a few nights of like kind of brainstorming of what we could do if we had, say, 100 acres, and talked about, you know, planting trees, like apple trees and stuff. And having like a little orchard and
how do apple trees? Yeah, how do
biking?
Yeah, absolutely. How do apple trees do in
they do fairly well
in Canadian climate?
We have one in our backyard.
Do you?
Yeah, we have an apple tree and a sour cherry tree, which are both high producers, more than we ever use. You know, in the mountains it would be obviously a little bit harder, but there are a select few of hardy apple trees that that like that climate. So
there you
know,
go.
Allie was doing like, you know, big picture brainstorming of, well, we could, you know, how many acres produce X amount of apples, and we could sell them to local cideries because there's an apple shortage.
Oh.
And then we talked about building, like if we have 100 acres, we could build some like micro cabins for Airbnb-ing, because camping right now is really popular in our province because we're in some of the most beautiful mountains. And then we could use it for like short-term rental or for hunting. I could do guided hunts on our land.
Dude, that'd be pretty sweet. Hey, I just had an epiphany, and I don't know if you've had this one, but I just thought of the perfect name for your orchard.
Okay.
Jonny Appleseed. Dude.
I mean, I like it, and it's hilarious. It's probably trademarked. It's also going to be Allie's pet project. Oh my God, microphone down.
It's going to be Allie's thing, so you're not going to turn into an apple farmer is what I'm hearing?
Zach, we have a colossal failure in the microphone department here. What the fuck?
I see that. What happened? Your boom arm just give up?
A boom arm? She gone.
Oh, man.
I don't really know what's going on here. But...
Sort of seems like it might be the, from what it looks like, the clamp or something.
I don't know. This arm is... We're just doing some minor repairs to Frozen 100 Studio C over here.
You know what? The more you fiddle with that microphone, the more I'm like, you know what? Maybe you should be an apple farmer, dude.
You're going to fire me? Is that what you're saying?
No, dude. But it would be pretty cool to record with you and just see you in a hat, you know? Just like
Zach, we currently have no boom arm, dude.
You're going to have to hold your microphone this whole time.
Jesus Christ.
We don't have to, it doesn't have to be...
How did this happen?
I don't know, man. At this point in the podcast, I'm not going for distance on the episodes. So if you gotta...
Okay, we got it. We solved the problem.
Okay, what happened?
I don't know. We just moved some shit, clamped it down extra hard.
We're good. Everything's good.
Crisis averted.
For a while there, I was sort of concerned for you.
You were ready to pull the plug just like that, eh?
No, man. I'm just saying, you know, we don't need to go the distance if you were going to hold the microphone is all I was saying.
Oh, I'm committed. I'll hold this microphone.
Okay. I was just thinking of your
Anyways, before you rudely interrupted our conversation
with
my microphone.
Yeah, with your microphone, yeah. And my
What were we talking about?
We were talking about Allie's pet project with the apples.
Oh, yeah. Allie's definitely going to be the apple farmer. I have no desire to deal with that.
Dude, I would love to see you picking apples, though.
Well, you know, here's the kind of test. We have an apple tree in our backyard, and there's been apples on there for about 2 weeks that need to be picked, and they haven't been picked yet. So I don't know how I feel about this business plan, but...
Well, but if you're doing it as a business...
I know, it's completely different.
Then you would do it. I have walnuts. I have a black walnut tree in my backyard.
What? That's a thing?
Yeah, I have
That's
a
cool.
black walnut tree in my backyard, and no joke, I can't tell you exactly how heavy the walnuts are, but they're probably quarter pound, maybe a little bit less than a quarter pound a piece, and they fall out of the tree and they smack you if you're like. There's like a period of like 2 weeks. There's like a period of 2 weeks where they're just like boom, 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 and they just all fall out of the tree. And we have squirrels. We have
I bet you have a bunch of squirrels.
We got a pack of squirrels, and it was the middle of the summer. That's when the walnuts fall off. Is like July, sometime in July. Mm-hmm. And so I was going around and picking up the walnuts.
You guys do anything with them?
I mean, we haven't up to this point. They've just really sort of been potential ankle injuries for a while, but because I don't know why, but I didn't know that a walnut looked the way a walnut looks until I moved to a place that had a walnut tree. So I don't
know if I've ever heard of a house having a walnut tree. What an interesting tree. Like,
yeah,
what an inconvenience.
Very inconvenient. And so when I go out to mow, I have to pick them all up and put them in a bucket. Just pick them all up. Otherwise,
your dog eat them?
No, dog doesn't really care. The dog will chase them.
Love the apples.
Yeah.
And I bet they eat them constantly.
I bet they do.
Like his shits right now are literally 90% cherry pits.
Yeah.
They're like thinly glued together with normal turd. It's just cherry pit. It is a melted O. Henry, just the nuts.
Oh shit, dude. Oh,
he's gonna die. I don't understand how. Like the things his body pushes through. Like just don't eat the fucking poisonous seeds, Gus. No, he's got to eat them. Just fucking like a little truffle pig out there, just snorting around in the grass until he finds one. And then he eats the moldy ones, and he has this look like he has like.
He's like, I regret this. Yeah.
He has a puke face where he just has this look, and he gets these little like drool strings where on both sides. If it's one side, it usually means like he's hungry or you're eating something.
Yeah, yeah.
If it's both sides, he's about to puke.
You get him outside.
And he just always eating. Like, and it's so hard to pick up all of the cherries. Like, I'm pretty good about dealing with the apples every morning, but the cherries, impossible. And it's like, why? It's getting drunk off of fermented fruit and puking everywhere. And...
I'm pretty sure this coming spring, there's just going to be an explosion of squirrel babies. The amount of walnuts that fell off this tree, I put all of them. It was like three. It was like 3 whole buckets. It was like 3 whole 10-gallon buckets, whatever they are. And I would take them and I'd fill them up, just pull them out of the yard, take them and dump them out on just a dirt area. So I had this mountain of walnuts.
They're gone.
And they were gone within a week. So the squirrels were just taking them and putting them up in their nests and eating them or whatever.
Yeah, they hide them and then forget where they hide them and then steal from other squirrels who are stealing from them. It's quite hilarious.
The worst part of it is that they eat it and then they just throw it out of the tree.
So then you got to go pick up all the shells again?
I should, but here's the problem. They're everywhere. My yard is pretty much covered in trees, and each tree has a squirrel nest in it. And that's including the driveway.
Chicken of the trees, Zach. All I'm hearing is opportunity here.
Chicken of the trees. I've never eaten tasty. Squirrel. Are they?
They're tasty little creatures. Especially, I'd bet they would be real nice if they were eating walnuts all day.
Yeah. Sort of like you got the sort of sweet taste to them.
It'd be kind of fatty too, right? So that'd be good.
Yeah.
Like plump squirrels in the backyard.
Yeah, but so in my history of stepping on things, on top of the list of painful items to step on, obviously something like a nail or something like that that penetrates your skin.
Wait. Okay, we need the
Then
scale is from like carpet to Lego.
no, well, Legos don't shoot through your foot, so I'm
They
thinking
sure as
like
hell can.
they feel like they should. So like something obviously like a nail or something. Then I was gonna say Legos. Legos are
Okay.
just. I think
So
I
nail, Legos
Lego
just barely getting
walnut,
squeaked out, and then a walnut.
a walnut shell, because and especially the ones that the squirrels have been
So
after.
are you outside barefoot then?
Sometimes I walk around outside
I
barefoot.
don't understand you fucking Americans running around outside barefoot but wearing shoes in your house.
Dude, I haven't worn shoes all day.
Good.
And the only, well, I take that back. The only shoes I did wear were flip-flops, and I wore them outside to run to the store.
Yeah, you're outside. That's completely acceptable.
Well, I didn't. You can't go to the grocery store with shoes
I'm
off.
saying it's acceptable to wear shoes when you're leaving your house, Zach. But why you guys
Right,
insist
I'm on my
wearing
property.
them inside your house
I didn't today. I didn't wear anything.
today?
Dude, my feet have been so uncovered the entirety of COVID. It's crazy. It's crazy. No, but the squirrels get at the walnuts. They chuck them out of their nests, but they have like the jagged areas from where the squirrels have bitten off pieces of it or whatever. And so you step on it.
Walnuts.
I've literally had a walnut in my foot. Like, didn't draw blood, but like stuck in
Got
there.
up in there.
Yeah. The worst.
Good times.
Yeah, can we say that though? Is it good times?
Have you thought about getting rid of it?
Getting rid of what? The squirrels?
The walnut tree?
Oh, I've thought of it. Well, frankly, we need to get a few trees taken out. I don't know if I'd get rid of the walnut tree though. Maybe, because the walnut...
What joys does it bring you, other than seeing a bunch of fat, roly-poly squirrels?
Not really anything. We don't use the walnuts for anything. But what I will say is walnut trees tend to make the soil around them a little bit more acidic. So it's probably worth it to yank that thing out of the ground. Plus, it's right on a property line, so those walnuts aren't just dropping into my yard. They're dropping into my neighbor's yard. And I'm sure the neighbors would be happy to see the thing go as well.
Maybe they do something with those walnuts.
Maybe. I don't know.
There's a local cidery here that if you have an apple tree and you pick it, they'll buy your apples from you.
There you go. How much? What do they sell them? What can you sell them for?
That's what clued Allie into, because we were talking about the garage reno and moving and whatnot. And we want to get rid of the apple tree. I want to get rid of the cherry tree. I'm fine with the apple tree. And then she was looking at it and saw like, hey, there are apple shortages in Alberta for cideries, so they're like buying people's apples from their lawns, basically.
I wonder how long that's going to hold up, though.
I don't know.
I mean, I guess if you can get out in front of it and get a big plot of land and then start growing those trees, then you can...
Yeah. I mean, the trees are part of it. The big thing for me is I'm getting to a point where, as much as I enjoy camping, and I probably will still do some adventure camping, I would much rather have a cabin in the woods that we would go to for our vacations and weekends and whatnot, so that I can like hunt and ride out there.
Yeah. Or you can just live there and grow your beard out.
Or just live. Yeah, someday, that would be the dream, right? But I was joking with a buddy, if we had, 25 acres to make trails on. Yeah. And we could make a bunch of different trails, and they could double as like snowshoe and cross-country skiing trails in the winter. So like for our short-term rental stuff, we could be like, hey, you can come out, you're right on all these trail systems.
Yeah. Airbnb it or something.
Yeah, Airbnb it. But we're going to name every trail that we build, like dirt biking trail, is going to be named after a track from Mario Kart.
Ooh, I can't wait to see Rainbow Road.
Oh, Rainbow Road is the first one I'm building.
It's going to be big.
It's going to be big, and I got some ideas.
I love it.
Some design ideas. It's going to be so much fun. And then I just like went down in all these rabbit holes where I was like, wow, if we had like this private land and like all these trail systems, it'd be so great. We could ride, do whatever. Yeah. It's easy. It's just us. And then it's like, well, how could I monetize this? and my buddy Jake, who does listen to the podcast, who I was talking to him about this idea. He's been taking these dirt biking classes in Toronto. And I was like, well, fuck, like, how cool would that be? We could definitely find someone to do that and just, like, rent out the land for the day and do, like, private dirt biking lessons on a mix of trails and whatnot. Or I was like, there's so many options to just, like, have, like, these weird little side businesses.
Yeah. Dude, there's plenty of ways to monetize. Plus, I mean,
selling wood, OnlyFans, I'll do it all.
Selling wood, gotcha. Selling wood, OnlyFans, yeah.
That also means, Zach, I'd be getting a bobcat, and I'm real excited about that. That was
I don't know if I would.
The first thing I told Allie was like, you realize that if we do this, there is an incredible amount of tooling and machinery we need to invest in.
I'm also
like, yeah, that makes sense. I was like, first step, bobcat.
First step, a piece of machinery that's gonna cost just as much or more than the property itself.
No. You could get like a little skid steer for like 15 to 30 grand.
No way. I thought they were much more than that.
No. I mean, you can definitely get bigger, heavy duty equipment that's that much, but we'd be okay with like a decent skid steer or something. Okay. Shovel. And I basically was like, well, shoveling, getting in and out of our property in the winter in the mountains.
Yeah. You would need it.
We'll need like a bigger mower depending on what our homestead grass situation looks like. And then that bad boy will be building and digging trails.
There you go. What you do is you build the driveway and you line it with little heating coils through the.
That is a very common thing.
You just keep it nice and warm throughout the winter.
That's great if you're absolutely like just stupid rich, but I don't know about having a heated driveway that's like
hey man,
an acre long.
Yeah, you're gonna have all kinds of room. Put some solar panels up, bruh. Hey,
well, solar panel would probably be a thing, although it is very short, sunny period in the mountains, depending on which direction you're facing and the snow.
I guess, yeah,
but
that's true.
Like we talked about all that, right? Like it could be a pretty cool little adventure, and I mean we need to save up some more money, and depending on what we do, I don't know, roll the dice, maybe end up homeless,
live in a car for a little bit. That's fine.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
My mom said I could live in her basement again if I had to. So
if you needed to move back, yeah.
Moving back in with the mom.
That'd be.
Parents, I'm coming home.
Yeah. That's a nightmare. Honestly, I don't think I'd want to live with my parents again.
I mean, I think
at this point,
if it was that or being homeless, I would probably pick that. But
sure,
I get what you mean.
Sure, no, and that's not a knock against your parents.
No,
I just wouldn't want to live with
anyone's parents.
My parents.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that is fair. So we're just musing around,
Yeah. So is this more pie in the sky, or are you guys thinking this is something eventually is gonna end up manifesting itself?
I think in the next 5 years we'll do something.
Okay.
I don't know if it will be 200 acres. I basically said, like, in my opinion, a minimum for me is 20. Allie said kind of the great starting point for orchards at 10 acres, and I know that is probably more whimsical than anything.
Yeah.
Like, the reality is I could see us buying some undeveloped land and putting a small cabin on it. Like, that's not an issue.
Yeah.
And then slowly building out the rest of it. But I think in the next 5 years if it's still a priority, and if like, especially if COVID is going to be a factor for the next 2 years, we're not traveling, we're not doing nearly as much. So
right,
we're doing our best to save money and not buy any more motorcycles, Allie.
Eyes rolling. So let's say that hypothetically COVID. Well, COVID's a bigger thing in the States, obviously, because we're stupid as fuck and can't figure out how to shut everything down and just stay where the fuck we are. If this,
You guys don't have money for that.
yeah. If this becomes a thing, right, where it's gonna take a couple years or whatever for shit to settle down or move on, or there's a vaccine or whatever, I'm very concerned. I'm already concerned with the state of America. I think this entire country is going to implode.
Man, I know we I know we try not to get too political,
Right.
but it's pretty scary how close you guys are to a civil war.
Yeah.
Like that, like the fact that is like a legitimate potential outcome in the next, I think, 10 years for you guys.
Yeah. The second one, yeah. It's just so, I don't know, man. It's just so, everything's just so divisive now. You know? And it used to be where didn't matter which side you fell on, there was some sort of common ground. Like there was there was a middle ground where everybody could come together and go, oh yeah, well we all agree that, this thing is a bad thing. Right? But now everybody's got to choose a side. And if this side says that something's a bad thing, well, obviously it's got to be a good thing, right?
And it's so extreme.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, yeah. I would say that's a good representation of what is going on. Extreme is a good word to describe it. Let's stop to take a second to talk about our sponsor, Audible. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled and get your free 30-day trial and a free audiobook. The book that I'm going to recommend for the month of September is Sklar's and Stripes. It's actually not an audiobook. It's an Audible original. So head over, check it out. The whole premise behind Sklar's and Stripes. If you don't know, by the way, Randy and Jason Sklar, the Sklar brothers, they are a comedic duo. They're twins. If you haven't listened to their stuff before, also listen to that. But the whole premise of Sklar's and Stripes is they go around when they're touring. They go around the city that they're visiting and they pick up things to talk about. And they try to learn as much as they can about the city. And then they go up on stage and they open up with 10 or so minutes of material that they've gathered from just walking around the city and taking it all in. Gives a good insight into other parts of the country. And hey, if you're from whatever specific part of the country that you tune in for, it'll make you laugh as well. Randy and Jason Sklar are really funny guys. Would highly recommend this one. It's unabridged audiobook, 6 hours and 47 minutes, solid amount of time, and you get to keep it. You get to keep it. It's free with a 30-day trial. And, hey, that's it. That's all I'm going to say, guys. Enjoy. audibletrial.com/jumbled. Back to the podcast.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Everything is about being right and not about being better. And I think that's the big turning point for politics in general. I think even here, it's not about being better. It's about being right now.
Yeah.
And I like being right, I don't know, is important, but I would rather be wrong a few times and be better than be right all the time and fucking miserable, right?
Yeah. I think what I'm waiting on as far as politics go is somebody who, comes in, gets voted in, whatever, some shit goes down, whatever, and then they are self-reflective enough to say, you know what, here are my flaws, and they're willing to lay it all out and say, yes, instead of redirecting, right, and saying, or having scapegoats or whatever, I think it would be more refreshing to know that there are people who not only are fallible, but are willing to accept that they are human, and
Well,
not
and it,
above the law or whatever.
yeah, and that's such a hard thing to do, right? Because the first, like, how long, like, how many good politicians will do that and get absolutely decimated in the polls
Railed.
the next election until people start realizing, like, oh shit, this is a good thing,
Right.
right? Because like politics, you show any sign of weakness and it gets used against you immediately, right? And I
Yeah.
don't think that saying, hey, we tried this, it didn't work, we're gonna do this now, this is what we learned, right? And that's, I guess that's what I share with
Yeah.
my team. Like, I give the people who report to me the opportunity to try something and to own it, and not everything is successful, but as long as you learn something from them, okay, well,
Yeah, move on,
yeah,
Take whatever
make a decision,
Yeah, exactly.
take the good, change the bad, carry on, just keep going.
Exactly.
But this,
Move
like,
forward.
I can't show that I was wrong here because the other side will just say that you were wrong here, even
Right.
though, we learned this awesome thing and it made things better.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's to come in
What do you think would
somewhat near
happen if
future,
Biden wins?
If
You
Biden
think
wins,
Trump mania will go fucking wild or what?
I have a feeling to keep himself relevant, Donald Trump will just keep talking. He'll
You know
keep
what I
making.
think is going to be the start of the Civil War? It's going to be Trump's going to lose, and then he's not going to, like, recognize it and say, no, it was fraud, this happened, and he's just going to, like, take control.
Oh yeah, pull a dictator move.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he did just say.
Speak really highly of Putin.
Yeah, that's true. He did. He did the other day just say, if Biden won, that we would never hear from him again. So.
Really?
Yeah, he said that in a press conference, or
No,
it wasn't
didn't.
a
No,
press
he
conference.
didn't.
It was like a rally. He said, if Biden wins, I'll tell you one thing, you'll never see me again, or something like that. I don't know what that meant. What it was in reference to, I don't know. But I think he was trying to talk disparagingly about Biden.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, and just myself, it's a personal belief I hold, I'm all for it. If I never have to hear Donald Trump again.
He is not an elegant speaker, that is for sure. What did you think about I don't know, maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't. I know our media preferences are varied a little bit, but did you catch all the memes and the chatter about Joe Rogan hosting a debate between Biden and Trump?
I heard about it. I don't. Well, and didn't Trump say, like, I'll do it or something like that?
Trump said he's down, and Joe said he was down. So it rests in the hands of Biden, and let's be honest, there's no one in their right mind is going to put that guy in front of an audience of that size with a microphone for 3 hours.
Here's the power move, right? Here's the power move if you're Joe Biden, right?
You just go in and take a nap.
No, you go in and you get fucking blazed. Just completely blazed.
And blame it on the weed?
Yeah. No, just
I
go
don't
in.
remember anything.
Just
Here's
go
the challenge.
in.
They're in Texas now. I don't think weed is legal in Texas.
Oh, that's true.
Which I'm
Surprised. Yeah, they moved
that.
the whole setup to Austin, didn't they?
I'm surprised that
Austin's a pretty progressive city, though. I don't know if, but let me see. Are we both looking it up? Are you looking it up?
Oh, I'm looking it up.
I don't think it might be medicinal, but it's not legalized.
It might be decriminalized.
Oh, okay. They're only at that level. Well, I guess it is a red
Austin
state.
Police will no longer cite or arrest people for possessing small amounts of marijuana.
Okay. That's sort of like how Kansas City is.
So they're doing it within their city of saying,
right.
hey,
In city,
we're not going to enforce this.
Yeah, in Austin proper or Kansas City proper, I mean, wherever you are, you will not get fined or anything for having it on your person, which is, it's a move in the right direction. Missouri is medicinal, but we still don't have dispensaries that popped up yet, which is weird because we voted on it back in 2018.
Oh, Jesus. Really?
Yeah, I think it was the end of 2018 is when the vote came through for it and it passed.
That's wild. And we have more dispensaries than we have weed. We have a weed shortage in this country.
I bet. It's all legal though, right?
It is. Oh, baby. You know what's kind of weird about the legalized weed thing that I've noticed? It even though it's legal, like completely legal, and it is essentially treated like alcohol. Right? Like for the most part, the parameters that we put around it it's like alcohol. It hasn't gotten to that social norm yet for like a lot of circles, like acquaintance circles, professional circles. Like at work, it's really common for people to say, "Hey, let's grab a drink. Let's go for a beer. Let's do this."
Right.
No one said, "Hey, you wanna smoke a joint? You wanna?"
How would you respond if somebody did say that?
Oh man, it would really depend who it was. But like, if it was a coworker, I don't drink, right? So to me, but yeah, if I had a coworker that, after work was like, let's not go to the bar, let's go smoke a joint. I'm like, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
We're gonna solve a lot more things that way than we are being drunk, right?
It's weird that there is that stigma, but I think it's
time, right?
Yeah, it'll just take some time for people to feel comfortable with doing that in a public environment.
But people at work still don't even talk about partaking. I don't.
Do you feel like there are repercussions for doing it, even though it's legal?
I don't think so.
In the workplace,
there can't be. Our workplace policy, fit for work policy, is basically saying you can't be under the influence at work.
Sure.
Right, which makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but outside,
I don't have a lunch beer either, right? But it's just not. I think it's just. I wonder how long that's going to take before that becomes normal.
That's a good question. I would really like to see some sort of discussion about moving federal with pot in the States too.
Well, people say that that's going to be Trump's big announcement, but I feel like if he was going to make that announcement,
it would have happened.
It would have happened by now.
Yeah, and I don't trust the guy enough to trust that he's going to follow through on whatever he says. So at this point he could probably say whatever, and it wouldn't make a difference to me.
Fair.
Just because of his track record.
Yeah.
Not even.
I get it. I'm not disputing it by any means.
Yeah.
It's,
just because of the track record, not because of the content of whatever he's saying.
He contradicts himself day to day.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Sometimes in the same day.
Sure, and I'm not gonna say that. I haven't benefited in some way from, during Trump's presidency.
Hey, I appreciate that. The reality is, he has done some things that have benefited a lot of people in the country. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And I guess that is my issue with politics right now, that it's people can't look at things case by case.
Right.
And I use the example of like my marriage. Allie and I agree on a lot of things. We got married. That makes sense.
Right.
But there are a lot of things we disagree on. But I can disagree with her on this thing and then go to the next thing and completely agree with her. And I feel like politics now is that winning mentality. You're either all in or you're the enemy, right? You either believe everything or nothing. And it's like, no, I can look at analytically and say, hey, I can see how this was successful for Trump with this specific audience, and yeah, that's a success. But I can also say, hey, he's a pathological liar. There's a lot of transcripts proving it. Why would you deny it? Just don't deny it.
So sometimes even in the same day.
Yeah, but just say, hey, yeah, he's fucking batshit crazy, but I like what he's done with these policies. I would respect you as a a Trump supporter if you took that approach.
Sure.
Like, yeah, okay, he's not perfect. But
yeah, nobody's perfect, right? And that's the thing is, I don't expect Biden to jump in there and
he is
perfect.
He's worse. Let's be honest. I mean, he doesn't. Lie or not lie. I don't know who's worse there, but he doesn't know his ass from his elbow, like, at all. Like the videos of him trying to like say a story or give a speech, or
he's not a great public speaker. That's for certain.
Why is America in love with 75-plus-year-old men to run their country?
I'm not. I would love it if there were, there's always the third party option, right?
Yeah. That's a whole nother challenge. I just don't understand why the DNC. I can understand why the RNC doesn't run a younger person, because it's still a lot of Republicans are like old rich white dudes.
Yes.
But the DNC, come on, they're way better options. Better options than Biden. No offense to Biden. He was a great VP. He brought a lot of humor to.
Right.
He really balanced out Obama, which was great. He had his time. He's old.
Yeah. My thing is, we had Buttigieg, right, who was, homosexual, right, younger guy in his, I think his upper 30s, or lower 40s, I'm not sure, but he was about as exciting as a rock, he just didn't bring any kind of excitement to his base,
Yeah.
So you have to find that person, and that's why Obama was such a big draw, because he was pretty young, relatively young, great orator, smart guy, head on his shoulders, really driven, determined,
some
right?
Showmanship to it, like, that's important. I get it. You need to be inspiring and rally the country, not just your selected half. But
right.
There's got to be better ways.
I agree.
Who's Biden's running mate again?
Kamala Harris. Yeah.
So I struggle with that one too. I mean, there are recordings of her bragging about withholding evidence that would prove people currently in prison are I'm brain farting right now.
Innocent.
Innocent. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. And she was bragging about like withholding that to keep them in prison, to keep her numbers
I haven't
up,
heard
she
that.
Can't lose. Yeah.
Huh. Wow.
That's but why do I know about this in Canada?
Huh.
And then I think, well, why would I want to vote for that?
Right.
For drug-related charges.
Right.
Especially when the left is like campaigning on defund the police, and now you're hiring like the top police person who put away all these black people for lame-ass marijuana charges, and then when they're innocent, intentionally stop them from being freed.
Right.
Why is that what you're putting forward to vote for?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
What's the phrase? Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Something along those lines. Yeah, I think that gets the general message.
I think that's it, right? When you're in a position of authority, you feel like you can make choices and decisions for the populace that nobody else would make.
Well,
so I've never heard about that, but that's disturbing.
Well, dude, time to do some reading, Zach, because polls are just around the corner, and you got to exercise your right to vote.
Well, actually, not even a couple months. 5 weeks or so.
5, yeah. Oh my God, the world is gonna end. I need to buy that land even quicker and
It's
escape.
either gonna stop spinning or it's gonna explode. You might want to get out in the country as soon as you can.
Amen to that. Well, on that note, let's end this podcast with a very special message to President Trump and candidate Biden. We will also host your debate. If you want,
on this podcast.
On this podcast, yeah, of course.
Yeah, sure.
All right, we'll just throw it out there. Let's get that trending. I think if anything, our podcast format being jumbled fits with both candidates.
I was getting ready to say well. Exactly.
Let's be honest.
You're looking for a rambly guy, you go with Trump. You're looking for a guy who can't keep his thoughts together or can't construct a full sentence, you go with Biden. And it's jumbled, right?
We're right there with him. So you know what? I think it would make brilliant podcasting.
I don't think we'd have to say a single word the entire podcast.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
I'm going to say, welcome to Jumbled, and then Trump's going to interrupt me, right? And then it's going to go back and forth for, 5-6 hours, and then I'll just say, all right, that's enough, and then I'll hit stop. All right,
good to go. Yeah.
No mid-roll, no pre-roll. We'll just run it.
Just raw, uncut, live. Just
I love it.
Let it fly,
Yeah. So if you guys
throwing it out there.
If you guys want to come on, our podcast and hash it out to our 3-4 dozen viewers, I don't even know what we're working with at this point. That's totally up to you guys. We welcome you with open arms.
That's right.
With that said, guys, appreciate you guys for coming back and listening. Make sure to follow us on all social media at Jumbled Podcast. Send any emails to jumbledpodcast@gmail.com. Dick pics to Jonny.jumbled. Johnny?
Yeah, the dick pics have really slowed down. I'm sad about it.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about a civil war. Just, paint your dickhead green, right? And it can be a helmet, and put a little fatigues on him, right? Dress him up a little bit,
Yeah, get creative. Come on.
Yeah.
Artistic dick pics only, please. I just don't want a hog in my face.
Yeah.
There's got to be some kind of... You got to move me with this image, okay?
Sure.
I need to be moved.
Yeah. If you're not using at least a little bit of Photoshop skills, you're
messing lighting. Up. At least get your lighting and angles down. Come on.
Yeah. I think that's one thing as men that we really need to work on is mastering the art of a dick pic.
I think there are a lot of people that would agree with you.
Because I don't think I've ever taken a dick pic that I was like, that's a winner.
Artistic
I recently hold on.
You know what you need, Zach? You need really to pull this off. You need a photographer.
Yeah.
To really pull it off, to like a proper donger pic needs to be, third party.
The lighting.
Shot. You can't selfie it.
Yeah, that's true. I will say one fun thing that I've been doing, and this is totally up to you guys whether you want to do this or not.
All right.
I've been sending snaps to my wife. And it's a dick pic, but on how you can scribble on top of the dick pic, or you can scribble on top of the. I've been turning it into little works of art. Like I made a little baseball player.
Man, I am devastated that I am not receiving these right now. I just want you to know that. Like,
okay, next one.
Fucking bummed. That our friendship has degraded or devolved to this level.
No, man, I just didn't know if
funny dick pics.
I'll send it to you the next time. And if I felt more comfortable, I mean, Lacey sent me her butthole. I'd even send it to Lacey, but I don't really feel comfortable throwing my.
That's a different conversation. But you and I, come on.
But I can throw it to you for sure.
Oh, 100%.
I'll make sure to do that next time. But that's all I'm saying. If you guys want to spice it up a little bit, it doesn't even have to be
outfits.
Yeah, just.
I heard like little cat hats that the little hats you can get for your cats. They fit perfect. That's what I've heard.
Oh, on top of a dickhead?
Yeah. I mean, what?
That's what you've heard?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
If you're rocking a Pringles can for a dong like Johnny is. All right, guys. Like I said, dick pics to johnny.jumble@gmail.com. Thanks to our sponsor who didn't tell us to talk about dicks right before we talked about it. That's Audible. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled. get a completely dickless experience. Great audiobooks over there on Audible. So thank you, Audible. God, what a bad spot. And patreon.com/jumbled, $500 for me and Johnny, and an address, dick in or dick out. You get to choose.
Wow.
I threw that on the end there. It's probably going to be dick in, right? We're probably going to be tucking just to keep the aesthetic.
You got to tuck. You have to go full. I'm full committed in this.
Yeah, going full tuck. Getting that thing nice and tight.
Duct tape and all.
Oh, God. My ass hair just get ripped out at the end of the night, dude. That'd be awful. All right, guys. That's going to do it. We appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for coming back. And we will see you guys next week for another episode of Jumbled, your favorite podcast.
But how to take a creative, artistic, and sensual personalized message for a loved one.
For a loved one. Hey, be on the lookout tomorrow, bud.
Oh my God, I can't wait. I'm screenshotting all of these. I'm creating an album.
Absolutely.
I'm legit. I'm screenshotting all of them, and then someday when we're like 80 and I'm going to be at your funeral, PowerPoint.
Perfect. That's exactly what I want. That's how I want to be celebrated, because at that point, my thing's just not going to work at all, right? It's just going to, I mean, I'll be dead, obviously, so it won't work at that point. But
you've given me permission.
Feel free. All right, guys. We'll see you guys next week.
Night.
Bye.
Recording in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, yeah? Little offset.
Ha! Ha!
Dude, that was so good. You got me so good, dude.
I always do. Always do.
You've always got me.
Yeah, what do you think of this angle? You can see like right up my nose.
No bats in the cave as far as I can tell. That's a good... Oh, you just...
Boys out.
Yeah, you vacated your nose right before we kicked this thing off. It sounded like a jet airplane.
Look how clean
wow.
This room is right now. We are doing work.
You are doing work, man. You guys selling off all your
Studio C is getting upgraded.
You selling all your assets off? You're gonna live in a tiny home in the Canadian wilderness?
We're talking about buying some land and potentially saying fuck it and living out there. Yeah, maybe.
Nice. I like it. Okay.